you just want to get that first Super Bowl under your belt. You just want a Super Bowl. So that's the most meaningful one to myself. Big time was just winning that Super Bowl, my first one. Because once you're in that club, you're in the club. But if you're not in the club, then you're of the Super Bowl winning, you're totally out. You
be chasing it your whole career.
Yeah, you're like 98% of everyone else. If you get one Super Bowl, you're in like the 2% club. And then if you get 2, you're in like the 1.5% club, then 3. I mean, then it's a game from there once you get 1. But you just want that 1. That's what I always wanted.
Unleashed with the Dingo and Danny, fueled by Monster Energy.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Dingo.
So I have to start with this. And so I was at that's Ralphie. Do we want to introduce Ralphie before
Ralphie,
we
come here?
Let's just introduce Ralphie real quick.
There we go.
You got a new family member.
Yes, I do have a new family member. It's my first child.
Come on, jump up.
Ralphie, come on.
Really?
He doesn't jump up, but
he's learning how.
He jumps like halfway.
Hey,
and lets me carry him.
Do you want to jump on the?
So it makes it easy.
Do you want to jump on and say hi?
Hey, Ralphie.
Where did Ralphie come from?
He was born and raised in Colorado, and he was delivered to me at about 8 weeks when he was 8 years old, and he's just been a great pup ever since. I've had him for about 2.5 months now. He's about 4.5 months right now, but he's a great pup. He's traveled all around the world like no other. He's probably traveled more than an average human already, and he's only 4.5 months. But the potty training was a little difficult at first because I actually trained him right away in the first 2 weeks in my place back in New England. But then I was traveling all over the place, going to Florida, going to my friend's house, going to my brother's house, and he was such a great dog to bring, so I was bringing him everywhere. And plus I had nowhere, for him to stay while I was traveling. So he was getting confused then, peeing, pooping in the hotels, just all over the place. Wasn't really sure where to go, but he knew he wasn't going in the right spot sometimes, but I couldn't really punish him because I traveled him in 20 different spots. But he's all trained now, he's all good to go, and he's just such a great pup.
I feel like we're kind of at Gronk's petting zoo right now.
we got mad pups rolling around. What kind of dog is Ralphie?
So he's a French bulldog, and I had 2 pugs growing up, and over the last couple years, my family and I, we had 2 pugs growing up, and we loved them. And over the last couple years, I visited, my friends and stuff, and they have French bulldogs. And whenever I seen a French bulldog, or went to my friend's house with a French bulldog, we got along great. Like the French bulldog always laid on me. I loved hanging out with the Frenchie. Just the way that they are, their personalities. I just got along with them great, and just always loved them whenever I was around them. So then I knew I always, if I wanted a dog, but I wasn't really sure when to get a dog. I was thinking about it during the pandemic, when we were home.
Yeah, everyone was.
Couldn't really find one, didn't really look that hard. I was just like, the opportunity's, just not there yet. And then, but I always, in the back of my head, I want a dog. Like, I need to get one. I love those Frenchies. They're perfect. Their personalities are amazing. So then we're in the season, and my, one of my teammates, he's really close with a lot of breeders because he has a lot of French bulldogs. I didn't even know this until I went to his house. I'm like, dude, you got like 5 Frenchies running around your house. Like, this is amazing. And he's like, oh, dude, you want one? I can hook you up, I was like, yeah, I do. I was like, we win the Super Bowl, I'm going to get a Frenchie. And later, a couple more weeks down the road, we win the Super Bowl. So I had to go get a Frenchie. That's what I did.
I like that. I like that you won the Super Bowl. I like that I've had my finger in your dog's mouth for the last 5 minutes. I'm the chew toy for the day. I'm just trying to make sure Ralphie doesn't bark, so I'm just going to keep my finger here. Dude, it's crazy that we're at your house here in Tampa Bay. It's beautiful, but it's crazy that you were retired. The last time we kind of really hung out, you were retired, and then all of a sudden you weren't retired. We were at Gronk Beach. Do you remember? Remember Gronk Beach and Bill Belichick showed up at Super Bowl, and he was there the entire day. Like, I remember standing up, and somebody's like, "Yo, Bill Belichick's walking in right now," and he had his little shorts on, his little boat shorts. He had all these rings on, and I was like, "Man, it's kind of crazy." It was pouring rain. Remember, it was pouring rain the entire day. The lightning, but the show must go on.
Oh, the show must go on.
There was no way the Gronk Beach Festival was closing down. It was pissing rain, and I remember Belichick being there the entire day. And I was like, that's so fucking cool.
Right. He wasn't there the whole entire day.
He was there a long time.
He was there for a good amount, you know. It was definitely more than I ever imagined that he would be there, for how long he was there for. And it was just impressive that he even showed up. I was like mind blown. Everyone was mind blown. They're like, yo, Coach Belichick is here at the Gronk Beach party. I was like, yeah, this is a legendary party. Right on the spot. And then we had Triple H there.
Yep.
And Coach Belichick and Triple H were hitting it off. And everyone was like, dude, legendary party. Who would ever thought Coach Belichick would be at a party? That's instant #1 party ever. But he was there for a little bit, and he got out before the rain. But it was just cool, to see him there, to see him at a party.
Did you know at that point you were going to be coming out of retirement and playing for Tampa Bay?
No, dude, I did not know at all. Not a single bit. That was a Super Bowl. I was throwing a party at the moment. Like that was the last thing in my head. I'm throwing a huge party. It was 8,000 people there. We had all those artists and performers.
Rick Ross, Pitbull, Carnage,
Flow Rider, Cascade. You just name them.
That is a lineup.
Yeah, it was a lineup. So I was focused on the party. I was not thinking back in my head at all. Like, oh man, I'm gonna go back and play football. No, I was in the moment. I was like, I got this crazy party right now. A lot of performers. I got to live it up, and I got to do my little performance too out on stage.
How did that all go down? Like, how did the comeback? How did it? At what moment did you get a phone call from did Tom call you and say, hey, this is kind of what we're doing?
I always stayed in shape for sure. I didn't really play football actually for a year. I didn't catch a football at all. Like maybe one time, literally one time. I literally took off football completely. I was playing so many other sports and activities, and I was running still, just staying in shape, just in case. In the back of my head, if I did want to, come back out, because I knew I could still do it. I just needed a year off and then just go from there and see how I felt. But I didn't really, have a timetable in my head, though. I was like, if it's going to happen, it's just going to happen. I'm not going to force it or anything. Then the situation that played out in front of me, I was like, I think this is the right situation for me to come back out. Tom went down to Tampa. He gave me a little call like, hey, you should come down to Tampa. And I was like, let me see what I can do. I definitely still can play. But I was like, before that even happened, he was like, would you come out of retirement? And I was like, depending on, what team you're at and all that, because he was in free agency. I was like, just give me a call when you're done. When you're done with free agency, where you're at. I got to like the place too, and it's got to, all fit. And, from there, man, everything fit. And as you can tell, everything did fit for sure. We came out, won the Super Bowl. I always came down to Florida whenever I could because I love Florida. I love the weather, the beaches and everything. So it just worked out great. My mom lives an hour and a half down the street in Fort Myers. So the situation, everything, rolled out the way that I was hoping it, wanted it to. In order for me to come back. So it was phenomenal.
So you won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots, right?
Yes.
And now 1 with Tampa Bay. What was the most meaningful Super Bowl to you?
Oh man, I would say, the first one, big time. It was 2014. We were playing the Seattle Seahawks, and you just want to get that first Super Bowl under your belt. You just want a Super Bowl. So that's the most meaningful one to myself. Big time was just winning that Super Bowl, my first one, because once you're in that club, you're in the club. But if you're not in the club, then you're of the Super Bowl winning, you're totally out.
You be chasing it your whole career.
Yeah, you're like 98% of everyone else. If you get 1 Super Bowl, you're in the 2% club. And then if you get 2, you're in the 1.5% club. Then 3. Then it's a game from there once you get 1. But you just want that 1. That's what I always wanted. And got that one, and it was just a legendary moment that happened at the end of the game when Malcolm Butler just came out of nowhere. He was a rookie that year. He's a phenomenal player, and he came out and had that interception running the 1-yard line that sealed the deal. So what a way, to win the game. And we had a great offensive game that game too. I had a touchdown at the end of the half, so it was just overall a great game. I contributed, the way it ended, and it was my very first one. So I got to go with that one. But let me tell you this, the last Super Bowl too was
That felt good,
too.
huh?
You got the
That
first-
one felt great too. That one was like winning the first one again. Like, whoa, like that.
Because you didn't think it was going to happen again, right? You're like, maybe, I don't know. And then it's like, whoa, we're here.
You
Yes.
got the first touchdown of this 2021 Super Bowl at Tampa Bay, like, because my finger's still in the mouth.
Ralphie loves your finger. You got special fingers. I mean, if Ralphie's chewing on your finger, what does it taste like? Where have your fingers been, Dingo?
Because you actually played you played a different position most of this year, right?
No, I played tight end.
Oh, you played tight end the whole year?
What games are you watching,
No,
Dingo?
but didn't they use you a little differently?
A little differently. I mean, I basically played the Y position.
Okay.
The tight end Y. So in football, there's tight ends. There's a different, couple different types of tight ends. Like you can have the, stereotypical tight end that is like a big guy that blocks,
Yeah.
can go out to the flats, catch a ball, doesn't really put up like that much, in the receiving game, but that's how they've been like, the whole, time football's been around. And then there's another tight end position, it's called the F position. You're still a tight end, but you're more of like a hybrid. You're more of like a receiving tight end. You block it once in a while, but you're the guy that moves around, that they motion, and you can go spread out wide. And you can go, out of the backfield in the slot, and then line up in line. So that's the more typical type of tight end that you see nowadays. Like, but I was in the mold this year of being like that wide tight end, and because we have so many other receivers and other tight ends too, that I didn't need to be that guy either. The F tight end running around the field. We have so many other targets on our team that didn't really matter. So I basically played the wide position, and whenever I needed to go out for a pass, went out for a pass. Whenever I needed to block, I just blocked.
And it just so happened you went out for that first pass for the first touchdown in the Super Bowl.
That couldn't have been any better. So let me tell you about that play.
Come on, Ralphie.
Yeah. Come on, Ralphie. Get up here. Love you, Ralphie. So let me tell you about that play. So like you said, this is where being like a prototypical Y tight end comes into play, is that I have ran that play like 1,000 times in my career. But I'm not saying I've ever ran it where I went past the line of scrimmage. I've always came, like you saw how I came across the line of scrimmage? It's called flashing. And then usually when I flash like that, I hit the D end on the other side, so I'm usually blocking. I've probably done it like, 500 times in my career. That was the first time in my career where I, flashed across the line of scrimmage and didn't hit the D end and just kept going out into a route. So when we put that in practice, I was like, I never actually went out on a route. This play is going to be wide open. Mm-hmm. Like everyone thinks I go across the line of scrimmage to block, the D end, boom. We called it, and I was wide open, went right into the end zone for, the first touchdown of the game. And, everyone tells me they put money on the line for me to score the first touchdown wherever I go. So I'm just trying to help my fans out.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people in Vegas who were happy that.
And then you got the
moment
second
too.
touchdown.
And then I got the second. Should I explain that one too?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about winning Super Bowls and getting touchdowns.
Super Bowls and touchdowns.
And what my finger's going to smell like after this.
Yeah, it's going to smell great. Everything about Ralphie smells great. His fur, his breath, puppy breath. I don't care. I'm like, Ralphie, you're just a babe. Mm-hmm. I just love you. You smell so great. But so the second one was called scissors. That's just the concept of the play, because I go first and go straight and then cut over like that, and as a corner, and then the receiver runs a post. So when I cut over, the receiver goes right under me. So we're like scissoring. Scissoring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little scissoring.
I've heard about this.
You heard about
scissors.
Yeah. Not my first rodeo.
Well, this is football scissoring now.
Are they bigger scissors?
Yeah. This game we were. this was some fast scissoring too. So then it never, it's supposed to not go to me at all. I'm the guy that's kind of like what's it called, where I'm running and everyone comes at me.
You're the bait.
The bait.
Everyone's like chasing you.
Yeah, there you go. I'm the bait. You chase me, and then the guy underneath gets open. So that didn't work, though. That play didn't work. Like, no one was open. So then I looked over, I was waiting, like, did Tom throw the ball yet? Like, I kind of was open on my route, though, but, I'm the last read. So then everyone was covering. I was like, oh, crap, Tom's back there. He has the ball in his hand. So I just planted my foot and came back, because that's called the scramble drill, where you just plant and you just take off somewhere else. And I was basically already in back in the end zone, so I could only go sideways or forward more. And I just planted my foot and saw that I had just so much room in the end zone, and just started coming back a little bit towards Tom. And he saw me, he read it perfectly, and he just fired that bullet, across the whole field right to me. And it worked out great, man. That was for the second tug. That's when I was like, yeah, we rolling, baby, we rolling.
So what's that like though when like he's about to throw the ball? Because I'm sure time almost like stands still in those very few seconds, right? Where you're like out there, and then are you guys like making eye contact in that sense? Or are you almost trying to look in a different direction?
No. It's basically like a quick, like 0.02 seconds of like eye contact. I remember I was coming across and I was like, yo, right when I planted my foot, I saw all that grass, all that green grass, and I was like, oh shit, I'm open. Like, I'm going to be open. Like, Tom, just look over here, because I saw him, reading all his options real quick. He's like a different level. Like, him reading an option, watching someone run their route and reading it, like, takes him like 0.001 second. And if like someone else went out there, like the average person, it would take him like 10 seconds to be like, okay, that's not it. But like boom, that's not it.
He's like boom, 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 like down the line.
So I actually planted, and I saw him. I was like, come on, look at me. And I took like 2 steps, and he gave me that contact and just fired the ball, and I was like, there it is. So it's like literally like a split second when that happens.
I mean, he's been firing bullets at you for a long time, so you know better than anyone, all right?
Yeah, big time. So we started like 2010 I was drafted, so that was my 10th season together. And so we started that connection since I was a rookie, and literally it started at my rookie year when I was staying after practice with him. We just kept throwing and doing more routes, and that's how the chemistry started. Now we don't have to sit after practice and throw 50 more routes. I mean, I don't have to throw with him or see him for a whole year, and then we can go out on the field and we'll be on the same page just like that.
So I have to say that I embarrassed you. Maybe I sat next to him at the UFC a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
In Jacksonville, and it was funny. Like, we were there with Machine Gun Kelly, and Machine Gun Kelly. We actually have something that I got to show you from him. But he, through ESPN, there was like a punching board that you hit, and he got your bigger punch. So I think we're gonna have to line you two up one day.
Oh shoot, yo, I was number 1, wasn't I?
Yeah, he beats you. Yeah. I got a picture of him holding the sign. He's like, you show Rob this. You show Rob this because I got a harder punch than him.
Yo, that was a while ago. That was like, how many years ago?
Years ago.
Years. Like, I'm talking years. I totally forgot about that. That was like at least 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm proud that no one broke my record until the other week.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
and it was Machine Gun Kelly?
And Machine Gun Kelly. That's a little unfair. Maybe he had like a machine gun behind him.
Yeah.
A little booster. Took a couple shots and bam.
Yeah.
He jabbed it hard.
So we're walking out of Dana's room into the fight, and Tom just blows by us and everyone. It was like Megan Kells, and we're all like, and he's like, I want to go meet him. And now the lady walking us to the fight's like, don't worry, he's sitting right next to you guys. So he gets stood out. We're sitting next to Tom, and then there's a moment where like we're about to get put on the big screen, and Kells was like, come here. He's like, he just had a song come out with a song called Daywalker with Corpse Husband, and it's the song that it's about fighting. It's like fight. So he's like, I want to punch you in the face, because that was the whole music video. So for on the screen, he kind of gets up, punches me on the face. I kind of fall over, and as I fall over, I slip getting back up the chair, and I fall right in front of Tom. And Tom's just shaking his head. I'm like, don't worry, Tom. I'm boys for Gronk. And he goes, yeah, of course you would be.
Oh, so why you got to embarrass both of us?
I know.
I'm not even there. Yeah. What a line.
But then I thanked him.
I'm boys with Gronk. He goes, of course you would, because you fucking fell right on your face.
But then I thanked him. I thanked him for you got 4 Super Bowls under him. You couldn't be under a better guy to have for your career.
No, not at all, man. He's a tremendous leader, just a phenomenal player, and just the way he just brings it to the field is crazy. Like, if you're not ready to go that day and you step out on the field, like within 10 minutes, like your mindset's just got to change. You're going to be ready to go, because every time that dude hits the field, it's unbelievable. He's 100% just on fire every single time. There's never a day off with him where it's like, man, he's a little off. Like, he's not performing that well today. He's not bringing the heat. It's literally 99% of the time he's bringing the heat and he's bringing the energy.
Yep.
And that's what keeps him going. That's how you keep going day in and day out. And he does that at such a high level every single day. it's super impressive just to be around it, and it gets you going on the field. You couldn't be under a better guy, in the system, just just to see how it's done, but also to bring you to a next, high level every single time you hit the field.
That's cool. You just recently broke a world record.
Yes, I did.
You had a football dropped out of a helicopter?
Yes.
Was that in Arizona, on your home, on your college? What?
Yeah, so I went to University of Arizona, the Wildcats, bear down, baby.
I've been to a college party there before.
Yeah, that's college parties are pretty crazy there. I went to one that Saturday night, actually, not like at the bar. They're pretty nuts, these college kids. I thought I raged hard at these college kids were at another level, like how much energy they were bringing at nighttime at the bar. I was like, it was another level. Like, I felt that. I had to back up, like, wow, man, I thought I partied hard. Like, these college kids now these days, like, blowing it out of the water. But back to the Guinness World Record. So I haven't been back to the U of A in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
They've been through a couple coaches and everything, but I just never really, got to go back. They just done it up, with the facilities there, the campus. It's like paradise there. It's crazy. It's super nice. But, they got a new coach, Coach Jed Fish, and he knows a couple of my buddies, a couple players and friends of mine, and he was hitting them up to get me to go back to U of A. So then I got in contact with him, and he just seemed like a good dude. He brings a lot of energy to the table. So I went back. It was my first time. My favorite part was there's a lot of my teammates there too. A lot of alumni that was back. There's about 200 alumni back, but a lot of my teammates were back, like 20 of us. So it was just a great time to have a little reunion. It brought back the memories. And let me tell you, Coach Jed Fish, he's changing that program around big time. He's just bringing the energy, the heat to the table. They went 0-8 last year, and at the spring game this year, it felt like it was a team that won a championship last year. That's how much energy he's bringing to the table.
Man, so who came up with the idea to drop the football out of the helicopter?
Yeah, he hit me up like 5 days before. He's like, "You ready to catch a football out of a helicopter?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, Guinness World Record. If you catch this ball 600 feet out of the air, you'll have a Guinness World Record." I'm like, "Yo, I'm not going in the helicopter and dropping the ball, but I'll catch it." He's like, yeah, that was the plan the whole time. I was like, good, exactly. Like, I don't need to go up in the helicopter to drop a football. Like, I want to catch it. So I'm like, I'm down with that. I was like, why not? So then my brother and I, we were looking it up, and like Dude Perfect held the record, right?
Yeah, Dude Perfect. They're like,
you probably know him, Dingo.
I know those guys, yeah.
Dingo knows everyone. That's what he really does. That's his thing.
But you know how they got on the scene?
He's got a contact list.
No, I'll tell you how they got on the scene, because Deerdick produced a bunch of their shows for a while. They like hit Rob up years and years ago, and they're the dudes that would throw basketballs off like bridges, and like they get basketballs in hoops from. They'd put a hoop over here, and one guy'd be sitting here, and he'd throw it over his head, and somehow it would land in the hoop. I don't know how do they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. They must like do like 1 million shots or something. But they also had the world record of the longest catch or whatever.
They shouldn't have the longest record.
What was the record before?
Altitude catch or something like that. That's how it's truly described in the Guinness World Record book. But they were at 500 feet. So, and then I heard like my brother and I looked it up, and Cam Newton, he has a YouTube channel. He tried it with Mr. Beast. You know who Mr. Beast is?
No, I don't know that person.
Yeah,
I don't know everybody.
He's a YouTuber, and they tried it at 600 feet, and Mr. Beast couldn't do it. So it must have been a windy day that day.
That's what I'm wondering. So like when you see it coming down, are you like running around on the ground and like?
So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, so we got there. It was pretty windy for sure, and I was like, man, this ball's gonna be a little hard to track. But okay, so my good friend, alumni of Arizona, Donnie Salem, he was up there in the helicopter, and he dropped the ball, and it was the first catch, the first drop, and I'm looking at the ball. It looks like an ant. Yeah, the ball looks like an ant up there, like literally an ant. Like he dropped it, I'm like, damn, I can barely see that thing. And it's up there, and I'm just sitting there waiting. I'm like, man, this is taking a while. Like, how do I track this? Like, I'm not lying. It's taking a while. Like, all right.
Do you start with binoculars? You're like, all right, it's coming in.
That's how I should have started, with binoculars. Like, yo. And then like halfway down, throw the binoculars to the side. But I started really tracking the ball when it hit, about halfway down. And then I started to, see where it was going, go get the feel, go jog underneath it, get the feel of where it's coming. And the first one, I was like, oh, I got this. When it was about 3/4 of the way down, I was like, oh, I'm tracking it well. I got this ball. But then I got like a little scared, like, oh, I'm scared. Like everyone keeps saying this ball's going to be heavy. It's going to hurt when you catch it. Like everyone got in my, my head. But that's why you can't let people get in your head.
Nah.
That's because they think it's going to hurt and that they can't do it. So they're like, oh, like, it's going to be heavy. It's going to hurt. I'm like, so I was in my head. So then the ball came down and I was scared to like go into it. I was like scared to go catch it.
You like right
so I
through
put
the
like
right
my
through the
hand out, like to try and catch it like that. When I should have like caught it like more with my body, like a punt returner, because it's hard. You want to use like your whole body to catch a ball coming that that fast. So I put my hand down, like got scared of it, and it went off my fingertips, and I felt it. I was like, that's like a normal pass, like a normal catch. And I was like, I got this. Like I should have went into it though on the first one and caught it. I was just a little scared, like I said. But then it took me a couple more tries because the wind took it pretty well.
And one ball ends up in California.
Yeah, once it comes out of the
Cali.
helicopter, isn't it like getting all like helicoptered, like pushed down?
Exactly, that too. Well, I'm not really sure at first because I'm not up at the 600 feet mark. But I will just say that the helicopter even made the ball go crazy. Like this ball, it wasn't easy to catch, but I did it on my 6th try. Don't tell anyone because on the video they made it like it was my 3rd try.
You just told everyone.
Yeah, I know, but.
Well, everyone keep that a secret. Everyone keep that a secret.
Yeah, keep it a secret.
Yeah.
If everyone that listens keeps it a secret, then no one else will know. But I caught it on my 6th, but on the video, I'm at my 3rd try. And, I knew I had it under control. There was 2 other times where I knew I had it and it just, wobbled off my hands. But the 6th time, I had the whole team out there, the organization, U of A, and I was like, these people are waiting on me. I was like, I can't have these people waiting on me any longer. I gave them a show, missing the 5. I was like, but they're waiting. Let me get this one. So the 6th one came, just easy. Got it.
Chested? Straight to the chest.
Right into the chest and hands, though, like I trapped it.
Pull it in.
Yeah, snatched it right out of the air.
Man, you come from like such a crazy sporting background, and this is what I only just found out. Your dad played college football. Your grandpa swam in the 1924 Olympics?
I'm not sure if he swam in the 1924 Olympics, but I know he cycled.
He cycled.
Yeah,
so he
cycled. But if you cycle, you're kind of a swimmer too, right? It's like
the triathlon thing, right?
Yeah, the triathlon thing. Like you definitely like swam in your life a lot too. No doubt about that. But I never.
Did you
really
just check into your meeting?
Yeah, I actually have a meeting at 1:30.
You check in.
It's a team meeting, and you just got to check in, and you get paid for the day.
Oh, I know, isn't it?
Yeah, you get paid for the day.
No, we want you to get paid today, Rob.
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
Oh, it wasn't on mute. All right, I'm good. I have it on mute. So it's a 5-minute meeting, but it's on mute. So we're good. I just got to write my name in the chat. Hold on.
Yeah, you write your name in the chat.
Just trying to get paid.
Let them know you're with Dingo.
Gronk with Dingo. Dingo, you might get a check from the Buccaneers now for checking in.
I'm in, dude.
Nice.
I was hoping I was going to be your mascot last year, but COVID kind of ruined that, so I really didn't get to make so many games. This year I'll be your mascot, though. Don't worry about it. I won't let you down.
Yeah, you would be great.
Maybe we should turn the volume down.
Oh, yeah, we'll turn the volume down on this.
Because we don't want to give away all your guys'...
Yeah, and I'm on mute. All right, good. I'm good. We're good. I'm just checked in, wrote my name, getting paid for the day.
I don't want to ruin the, because you guys have got to... Is it going to be more pressure this year than last year?
I'm not really sure because, there was pressure last year, but there really wasn't pressure because it was like, we just put the team together last year.
Yeah.
It was like a whole new,
no one expected it to happen.
A whole new situation.
Not that fast,
You know how hard
right?
it is to happen that fast. And it happened that fast. So I would actually say there's probably more pressure this year to repeat, even though I don't feel like there's, that much pressure again. Because I'm not really putting pressure on myself, though. I just know if I just go out there and compete, like I'm not trying to, put added pressure to myself and stress or something over a season that's so long. If we just go out there and do what we got to do, everything will take care of itself. But I would definitely say, like in terms of winning it all wise, like it wasn't expected the first year. But now that we won it, it's definitely going to be
now you guys
this year.
You got like the target on your back.
Yeah,
right?
we got the target. We got everyone returning. We can be a better team. We can, chemistry can be built, a lot more in this off season and going into this season. So I would definitely say there's more pressure this year than last year. But at the same time, like, we all work hard, so we don't really feel the pressure. We just got to do what we got to do, and everything will take care of itself.
My favorite moment, and I think it was the moment that it broke the internet, and it was when you guys beat Green Bay and you guys dropped the video to the Diddy song.
Was that Green Bay?
That was after you beat Green Bay and you guys are getting on the plane.
Yeah. That was we beat Green Bay twice this year, so I was thinking like the first game, like when we beat them like 45-3.
Yeah,
that was an incredible game. But yeah, the playoff game, the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, we did the Diddy song again. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah. So me and Tom did that when we beat the Chiefs like 3-4 years ago in the AFC Championship game, and everyone that year was saying we were done, everyone's done, Gronk's old, Gronk's slow, Tom's old, Tom can't throw, Gronk's too beat up. So then, boom, we did that, and then we won it all that year versus the Rams, and actually that was my last year in New England before I retired. But then, a couple years later, everything retired, come back, all that. We come back to Tampa, are they going to do it? Gronk's coming out of retirement, Tom's old, that's why they didn't want him anymore, and boom, we beat Green Bay.
Yeah, that's like the best feeling, right? You got to prove the haters wrong, and it's like trash talking the trash talkers.
At that point, I feel like you guys, once you beat Green Bay, and I feel like you guys at that point coming into your hometown, the Chiefs got smacked the week before.
You're right, man. Once we won it in Green Bay, because that was going to Green Bay. Who goes to Green Bay, 20-degree weather, and wins a game in Lambeau Field? That's a rare situation. Like, that doesn't happen. And we, first off, the first playoff game on the road versus Washington, they had a top 10 defense. Yeah, their offense wasn't great, but that quarterback played lights out. So it made it like a great game. And they had a top 10 defense. It was on the road, 25 degrees. Then we had to go to the Saints on the road again. We lost to them twice already this year, got absolutely whooped. We played some bad football those two games, but no excuses in football. You got to be ready or not. But we were ready for the playoff game, so that's what it matters. And then go on the road versus Green Bay. In Green Bay, like I said, who wins in Lambeau Field at that game? So that playoff schedule is one of the hardest schedules you can ever imagine for NFL football playoffs. So then when we came home, we were like, dude, this is nice. We're home now. We're it's a Super Bowl game, but it's a home game now. Like, everyone just felt like the energy that we have it under control, and we put that work in though still, the 2 weeks leading up to it. And when the game time came, we just took care of business like we needed to do.
And it was probably nice because you were able to have a crowd there.
That was super nice to have a crowd there. Because it was weird, like the first couple times with not a crowd, it was weird. Like, you could hear a pin drop when like the teams weren't playing, and in between whistles, it was real weird. But
does that like take the energy out of it?
Yeah, it took like the energy out of it, but it was fair for both teams because both teams were dealing with. But like after like the fifth game, like it was totally normal, and then when you added like 5,000 or 10,000 fans, or like for the Super Bowl there was 20,000+, that felt like a full stadium.
Yep.
So like that was cool. Like we had 25,000 fans for the Super Bowl game. It was electric. The stadium was nuts. Everyone was loud, and it just felt like it was a normal atmosphere, and it was super dope to have that many people for the Super Bowl game.
And then to have your family there supporting too, I feel like your family is like legendary in football on the way that they go about it, the way that you guys, the way that they tailgate, the way that they party, the way that they bring the energy. And it must have been nice having all your friends and family kind of back here on your side too,
Yeah, definitely. It is nice to have everyone down here. We all love Florida. The weather is nice for the Super Bowl game, 75 degrees or tailgating. My family, they just tailgate and just love the football atmosphere. Love going to the games, cheering me on. It just gives, everyone's something to do, but something that's great to do, like that everyone loves to do, which is really cool. But they're great. They support me basically every week if they're at a game, if they're not at a game. But just to have my whole family at the Super Bowl game, it means a lot, and it's super super cool too, just to look up in the stands and see everyone there.
Yeah, I got sent a really cool video that Mojo did with your whole family of like the pre-prep. It was cool, man. Mojo brings the heat, dude.
Oh yeah, Mojo Raleigh. He brings the heat every single time he's at a tailgate. Mojo, I think he lives for parties, lives for tailgate parties, lives for any party.
Yeah.
If it's at 6 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 10 at night, it doesn't matter. He lives for a party at all times. So a tailgate party, he's bringing the heat, and that's what he does.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you recently. You refereed, but your brothers all jumped in the ring with Logan Paul.
Yeah. What idiots.
Did they realize? Listen, Logan hasn't. I think he's been professionally boxing now for 3 years, which isn't a crazy amount of time. You've been a pro athlete now. I mean, you've been an athlete your entire life.
Yes.
These guys were obviously athletes of sort, but not at that level. Had they watched any of Logan's fights pre any of it?
Not really. I think 2 of the brothers watched his fight versus another YouTuber, like, what's his name, like TKE or something?
Is it KSI?
Yeah, KSI. And he lost that fight too, even though he was whooping his butt. But then, like, the 4th round came and he ran out of breath or energy. So 2 of my brothers saw that, but I don't know, dude. They agreed to it. It was unbelievable. I was pumped they agreed to it. I was like, I'm good. I'll referee though. Like, I just hit every single day for 6 months straight in a football season, and then I got another one coming up, this season. And I was like, I'm good. Like, I got hit enough. Like, I don't need to get hit any extra, like, in the off season. So I was like, you guys for sure need to do it. So that got me out of it for sure. But you can't argue with that excuse. Like, I play football. I get hit every day. But they needed to do it. Like, I felt like it would just be great content, and it sure was. It was really great content, but at the same time, I didn't know what they were thinking by agreeing to it, because that was legendary though. Because at some moments too, they were like, all right, what did we do? Like, did we really agree? Because they weren't really sure how good Logan was going to be, and then when they noticed that Logan's been training for 3 years, my brothers literally didn't do any training at all. Like, literally none. 2 of my brothers did absolutely none and just stepped in the ring.
Nothing.
That's cool, though.
Yes.
Just watched a few Bruce Lee videos and then get in there.
Which one was the most? Who was the most scared getting in there?
I got to give him credit though for doing it though. At the same time, it was ballsy for sure, because it doesn't matter what size you are or how big you are. If you don't have any boxing experience and you're going for someone with 3 years of experience. 3 years is a good amount of experience. I mean, it's not 10, 15 years. That's legendary experience. But 3 years is a lot of experience in the boxing world, and that's what Logan had. It doesn't matter. So if you're going in and you're bigger though and stronger, but if you don't have boxing skills, it's like you're almost a bigger target. Yeah, you are a bigger target. You're not gonna win. Like, the chances of winning are super rare. It doesn't matter if your opponent's smaller. It's all about skill set. It's like someone bigger than me trying to cover me, and they never covered anyone in their life. They're just stepping out there like, oh, I can cover you because I'm bigger and faster than you. No, there's so much more to it. So I got to give my brothers credits for just stepping in and doing it. I mean, that takes some balls right there for sure. But I would say the toughest one that went in and did it was either Glenn or Chris. They both played fullback in the NFL, and to play fullback in the NFL, you gotta definitely, have some screws missing, because fullback in the NFL, you just line up in the backfield right there, and then the linebacker's right there, and you just run full speed into each other, like a freaking head-on car crash, and that's what fullbacks do. You gotta have a couple screws missing to want to do that for a living, but they went in there though, so they got hit in their head plenty of times in their career. So they went in there, and I would say that they were the toughest two to step in the ring, for sure. And then the least prepared, I would say, Dan, for sure. He didn't really prepare though. I think he said he did that mirror class where there's someone in the mirror and they say punch 1, 2, and that's what he did. That's how he practiced for his fight. That makes it more legendary. That they didn't practice at all. I love it.
Well, now all 4 of the brothers, the brothers have now all got in a ring with somebody who've got in a ring with Mayweather. That's pretty legendary.
Exactly. And then imagine if he beats Mayweather, they're going to be like, dude, we just fought the guy that just beat the best boxer in the world. Like, that's legendary right there.
Super legendary.
Yeah.
You know, you and your brothers do quite a bit of work and stuff together. You got some businesses, Ice Shaker. How's that business doing?
Oh yeah, that business is doing great. My brother actually, he's just, you know, doing super well. He's working hard. Chris, he played fullback in the league. He lives in Dallas, so he started Ice Shaker. He was on Shark Tank. A-Rod invested in him. Same with Mark Cuban. Then I ended up buying out A-Rod. So I own a portion of the Ice Shaker actually. And it's going super well. He's doing a great job. He's hustling every single day, day in and day out. And I was actually just there a couple weeks ago, and I pretended that I didn't have a job. So we filmed it all. Hey, Ralphie. We filmed it all. That it was my first day on the job, and that's coming out. We just did a little film session, like made it like a little, short clip movie type thing, and he just sent this to me yesterday, and it's legendary. I got 3 infractions in the video, so I actually got thrown out of work on my first day on the job. So I was there for 5 hours, got tossed out, but we had a blast doing it. It was all for laughs and giggles, making the film. But my brother's doing a great job. He's working hard, and it's a great product. It really is. I use it every day, but my favorite thing about it is that he's coming out with the gallon shaker cup, and down here in Florida I always throw outside, and I literally need like 5 water bottles, and it gets annoying. So I can't wait to get his gallon shaker cup. It's coming in very soon, and I'm just gonna put all my water in it, and then I don't have to carry 5 water bottles with me, and I can go outside here in Florida because you sweat like crazy. It's 90 degrees, 100% humidity some days. So I can't wait to have that one. But the cups are legit. Keeps your drink cold for like 24 hours, and my brother's doing a great job with the product too.
How much water are you drinking a day?
Typically I drink about 100 fluid ounces to about 140 fluid ounces, depending like where I work out, like how, what type of workout I did. And if I'm outside, I'm running for an hour and a half, like routes, I'm dripping during the routes. So I probably, take in typically like 140 fluid ounces that day. Like if I just work out inside and don't sweat that much, probably around 80 to 100 then on that day. So it all depends where I work out, like how the humidity is and how much I sweat that day. But typically 100 fluid ounces to 140.
How many are you getting a day, Dan?
Dingo's looking a little confused there. So, and there's about, I think, 128 ounces in a gallon.
Yeah, is that it? 128 ounces in a gallon. I've probably done my max, probably like 240 fluid ounces. Like there's some practices in training camp because we got all the pads on, the helmet on. I lose 8 to 10 pounds. I lost 8 to 10 pounds last year, like in 5 to 10 practices last year, because it's 95 out. The humidity is 95. We're running for 2 hours with gear on. Literally lose 8 to 10 pounds like that, and then you got to make up for it all day long. So I'm drinking water after water, and it comes out to like some days, when I sweat that much, I probably have had 200 to 240 fluid ounces on some of the bigger days.
I guess I gotta start coming to practice.
Oh, dude, it's a flush, dude. It's great. It's a great flush. It feels good every single time. Like you clean out your system in literally 2 hours just out on the practice field.
You're getting into NFTs. Were you the first big athlete to do like an NFT drop?
Oh, yes, I was. I was the first athlete to do an NFT drop. The people who threw the Gronk beach party hit me up, Medium Rare. That's the group of their name, the company name. And they were like, yo, Rob, like, there's these cards out there. They're called NFTs. Like, we want to get you on it. Like, we got a program. We can get you an artist. We know what to do. We know what sites to be on and all that. And really no other athletes done it, but a couple celebrities done it. They made out very well. Do you want to get on it? And usually I investigate, like, what should I do? Should I do it? Should I be? He's like, there's no other athletes yet, but I think you'll be great. You just won the Super Bowl. And I was like, I hit him up back 5 minutes after. I was like, dude, I don't know why, but I think we should do this one. Like, because I get, things to me all the time. And I was like, I think we should do this one. This NFT sounds great. Like, these cards, I see them everywhere. I don't really know what these online cards are.
Do you know?
Right now. So I'm like, there's cards all over the place. The card game is booming. So I was like, let's do it. And then, just fast forward, I had one of the best NFT drops in like history as an athlete. And then, I was the first one to do it. And then it just led to so many more doing it. And it's just taking off. It's just pretty cool. And the cryptocurrency stuff is just another level. I got this. They paid for my card, my NFT in Ethereum. So now I have this Ethereum money, and it's just taking off. I love crypto.
You do?
I love crypto.
It's going to eventually be the new money, like it already kind of is. I think at one point, as soon as the government can regulate or understand and be some sort of control, like I already know since coming out of the pandemic, a lot of restaurants in LA aren't taking cash anymore. You know, so it's like, and in saying that, which means money will eventually come out, or the cash in hand will eventually get taken away, and then there'll be some point of change where you'll be able to go to a restaurant and pay for it in crypto.
I totally agree with that. I feel like it's going that way. Look at, I think the Athletic A's, they're accepting crypto, they're accepting Bitcoin in order for a suite for the year. And I think many restaurants are going that way. I think many companies are going that way where they're going to accept crypto. So I think it's the very beginning of it, big time. I'm actually lucky just to be in the crypto game through NFTs. I mean, that's a legendary move right there, actually, which is pretty sweet. But I think it's just going to keep on booming. So if you're not in the crypto game yet, I think you should definitely get in the crypto game for sure. But, like, it's just going to take off. I don't see why not. I feel like the government's behind it. These huge companies are starting to accept
wasn't it
it.
just like in the news too with was it Elon who just like invested like crazy into Bitcoin or something?
Elon Musk is is a large part in it too. I'm not really sure what type of part he has in it, but I see that he had like, I don't know, some crazy amount of Bitcoin invested in his company. Then he sold part of it. It was like 250 million or something. He sold in Bitcoin. I don't get me quoted on the numbers, but it's just something silly like that.
Yeah.
And I just know he's a big part of it. And there's a lot of big companies like that are part of it too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, it definitely is the way of the future. Speaking of money, you just dropped a bunch of money in Boston on the Gronk playground, man. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. So I started playing that right after I retired. I was like, man, I got to give back. A lot of people have donated to me for like appearances and stuff to my charity. So I got plenty of money in my charity, in the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation. We have given many grants to Pop Warner teams that are going on, that weren't going to have a season because they had no equipment for the kids. I've done stuff like that, but I haven't really done something big, like a big impact, like a big one that impacts the whole city. And that was in my mind. I was like, man, I got all this money in the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation. How can I use it? What can make a big impact to the kids out there? And I've been planning that, to build that playground for about a year and a half now. Dude, it's crazy. Everything takes forever to plan, especially when the pandemic hit. It just delayed everything to a whole new level. But I think it's working out for the best of everything for the playground, and it's going to be finished in April next year, and it's going to be right in the smack city of Boston, right on the river. It's a great location. And it's going to be a $1.2 million donation. So thank you to everyone out there who has donated to my charity. I mean, majority of the money of what's in there is going to this playground. So thank you all for the donations, and we are accepting more donations, everyone. So if you're here,
send them in.
Donate, send them in to the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation. But I can't wait for the playground to be done. That's going to be legendary next year.
Sick. That's awesome. Congrats on that. And we got to get in and support that. We're, the first time I met you, we won the Daytona 500. You guys won the Super Bowl that year. And then we'd come to the Daytona 500. We just sponsored the Monster Energy car, Kurt Busch. We win the Super Bowl. You win the Super Bowl. The Patriots win the Super Bowl. We win the Daytona 500, and then me and you were on the stand for the first time, kind of like hanging out, and it's crazy, dude. Like since then, like you're a champion, you're a winner, and it's crazy. Like the energy and the presence you bring around is cool, and we really appreciate that at Monster, and we're stoked to have you be a part of the family now for so long, and everything you do from the Monster brand to the Hydro brand, and we're just really appreciative, man, and we really appreciate the relationship that we have with you and the ongoing, and we thankful for letting us come into your home and talk the shit, chop the chop. What we try and do at the end before we cut out, Danny's got this like little lightning round that he tries to fire off like quick answers.
I do a lot of research to find these.
First off, I want to say this, the sponsorship with Monster, since I've been with them 5-6 years ago. I've signed with them. It's just been unbelievable. It's been unbelievable times. And what's so cool, it's not like work. It's not work when with Monster. I'm going to freaking NASCAR events. The Daytona 500. We're there at the finish line with Kurt Busch, who won it, popping champagne, man. I'm on your podcast right now, all because I'm with Monster, which is great, man. It just leads to so many great relationships, and the energy around Monster is just fantastic. It's always a popping atmosphere. And Ralphie loves Monster, too.
Ralphie does.
Yes, he does. So
Ralphie's part of the family. I almost lost a finger today.
Yes, you have. But I appreciate the whole Monster family and everything you guys have done for me. And it's just the beginning. We just keep going every single year, and we just keep doing big things, man. I love it.
We appreciate it. Are you ready, Danny?
Yeah, so we did an online poll, and we asked people what they wanted to know most about the Gronk.
Oh, I love these polls. Let's hear it. I love these bam questions.
Okay, proudest achievement on the grass and off.
Ooh.
That's a two-part question.
Okay, I would say, winning that Super Bowl, my first Super Bowl, big time. And then I would say, off the grass, I would say, I'm going to keep this one light. I'm going to say when I body slammed my brother in Vegas when I was 23 years old and I had a broken arm.
Nice.
I mean, I wouldn't say that was a problem, but it was still a proud moment.
And this is your older brother, yeah?
Yeah, and I got to body slam my older brother.
Were you a fan of WWF growing up a little bit?
Yes, I was, big time.
Sick. What's your favorite meal to cook?
Oh, my favorite meal to cook is a prepared meal. So I have prepared meals in my freezer, and then I just take them out. I put them on the stove. I add olive oil to it and cook it up, spice it up, and then I add salt and pepper. And let me tell you, the meals are delicious. Then.
Is it olive oil or avocado oil? Because I saw quite a few avocado oils in that kitchen.
It's both. I got avocado oil and olive oil. I love them both.
What's the biggest piece of advice for the young ballers coming up and dreaming of the game?
Get to know the playbook. That's the biggest thing. If you don't know the playbook, you can't step on the field and do what you really want to do. Because if you're thinking about the play, you can't perform to your max. So get in that playbook and learn it ASAP.
Just memorize.
Yes.
What's the biggest misperception of being a pro baller?
Is that I would say that a lot of people think like you just show up to the games. And you just play. There's just so much work behind the scenes that is done, and there's just so much work that needs to be done behind the scenes in order for everything to be accomplished on game day.
Yeah, so how much in between the games are you working out and resting?
Dude, it's a full week. It's a full week of preparation. Really? When you're in your young 20s, it's a whole different ball game because you can rest and recover way faster. You can go out and party and be wake up and be I can play another game. But when you're later in your 20s and your 30s, you go out and party, you're I can't play today. I just partied too hard. So you got to adjust your whole schedule. You got to adjust, everything on how to play the game at the highest level. So it's just the preparation has just changed over time. And now that I'm in my 30s, I need the whole week. I need the whole week to prepare. And I would say I take my, we have off days on Tuesday, and I take that day totally off from everything and just relax.
What's your favorite city to travel besides Tampa or New England?
Oh, my favorite city to travel, I'll go with Dallas. My brother, Chris lives in Dallas, who runs the Ice Shaker. And I think Dallas just, has a lot of great communities around there. So, and a lot of great shopping. Whenever I'm at his house, I just go shopping in the grocery stores right near him. And I just get excited to see his kids too. So it's like a full package, a lot of great shopping around there, and I get to see his kids, and I just love running around with them. They remind me of my young age.
Right, it's cool to see yourself in a whole different age where you can look back whoa, that's me and my brother when we were that age.
Yeah, exactly. We do. We bring up all our memories too. When they're fighting, I'm that's how we used to fight, bro.
Best football player of all time.
Oh, best football player of all time.
Besides yourself.
Man, that's a good question for sure. That's a good question. I'll go with a position-wise, skill position-wise. I'll go with Deion Sanders, man. He was just such a beast, man. Just the way he covered people, just the athlete he was is just phenomenal.
If you had to choose two other sports besides football that you would have pursued from a kid?
I would go with basketball. I love playing basketball, especially in high school. That was the coolest event to be at. The whole you know, the whole school would go and just go crazy whenever there was like a dunk or a three-pointer. I just loved the game of basketball playing. And I would say hockey too. I played hockey till 9th grade. I actually stopped playing hockey because of basketball, but I love hockey, and it's just a blast. I love the
so much
checking and
energy
fighting.
in hockey.
Yes, and there's action. There's checks and fights. I mean, it's great.
Well, I think that's pretty much all the questions I have.
That's it.
That's
all.
I got.
Not even
That
one
was it.
more. Come
No,
on,
I think the last thing we need.
one more.
I think the last thing you need, because you got a meeting. We got to get your laugh. We got to get that iconic. We got to get the iconic
And
laugh.
everybody wants to know what you're going to be doing after this interview.
We got it. We got it.
All right, so right after this interview, I actually was on that team meeting at 1:30, and now I have a tight end position meeting at 2 o'clock.
Let's get him on.
So I'm actually hopping in on my tight end position meeting because, you know, because of the pandemic, we're not going in anymore. So everything's on Zoom, which is awesome because I just hop on the meeting and then I'm home and I can do like whatever I want right after, and I'm not, you know, in the building. So that's what I have right after this. And then after that, I'm going to probably go jet skiing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, and happy birthday coming up, right? Isn't that coming up in like 2 days?
Yeah, my birthday is a couple
days
days.
ago?
I'll be turning 32. You know, Dingo's 35 though, so he's old. I'm young.
There we go.
That's right.
All right. Let's jet ski later.
Let's jet ski.
Yeah, let's do it.
Love you, Rob. Thank you, brother. Much
I love
appreciative.
you guys.
Thank
You
you.
guys are great.
Thank
Let's
you,
get on the
Ralphie.
slopes again soon.
Thank you,
I love the
Ralphie.
slopes. I'm a skier, not a snowboarder, but I can keep up.
That's all right. That's all right.
As long as you're up on the slopes, that's all that matters.
As long as you're having fun in the sun.
Unleashed with the Dingo and Danny. Fueled by Monster Energy.